Hello everyone, this is Sam from PrismScroll with the patch notes 3.6.0, which introduces selections into the digital sheet. We'll see an example of it with Ranger, which is a good example because of the subclass has a bunch of selections, the Hunter subclass, and then I'll maybe go through an example of creating a selection group and how that sort of works. So let's get into it. So selections, it's a huge deal. You can see it in the digital sheet. You can select it and it will bring up the information. You can change it from there. So that'll be it's a huge addition, and it really shows the true power of the app because of the customization and the things that you can create yourself rather than having the standard options like you don't have to just settle for fighting styles. You could create a group of features that that you get to pick from for your new class and things like that. So it really opens opportunities for homebrew and custom things that you want to make and be able to actually utilize in the app to its fullest potential rather than being hindered by customization options that only give you the standard things. So we'll a little bit later kind of show how that works. So the next thing is when you're making a character, when you looked at the information for any of the character options, it was displaying that huge paragraph of text. So that's been switched over to the cards, which you'll see is all formatted and has some bold and regular font. Magnus, be quiet. So another update was there was a problem with bonus or AC not applying correctly. So basically I had it programmed where the shield, the standard hard-coded shield, was the only thing that was working, even though I had implemented the bonus armor class in custom creations. So it was basically if you had a bonus armor class of 3, it was setting your armor class to 3 because it was only looking for the standard shield rather than looking for a bonus AC number. So the next thing, if you deleted an item in the custom creator while you were searching or something of the sort, then it created this tile that said error and it was red, and it didn't really do anything because if you clicked it, it just went to an empty screen. So it didn't really cause any huge issues. It just it was just kind of a UI bug. So that got taken care of, which is good. As mentioned, selection groups has changed how it's created. It's been moved over to the new UI. Hunter's Prey for the Ranger Hunter subclass has been updated. It got moved to level 3 when it was at level 6 because it was at that inappropriately. A pretty big update. If you export a single item, so like let's say you export a class, when you import it, hey, stop it. When you export a class and then import it, it's going to import it through the batch interface, which is going to allow you to update or overwrite what you have already, rather than when you tried to import it previously, it would just try to import it, and if there was any similarities, it wouldn't let you import it. So if there was a thing that was already called that name, it would say, oh, can't import it, there's already something there. So using the batch, it's going to change it, convert it to a batch, and then it will try to import it and then utilize that updating interface. Magnus, stop it, come here. Come here. All right. Come here. So, and then the last thing that's kind of a big deal is if you have a blood hunter, all my blood hunters, you are going to have to re-import the class because I changed how it was saved in the background. So back in April of last year, I had to change all the content around. So there was standard content that was in the open game license, and then there was custom content. So Blood Hunter was this weird in-between because it wasn't official D&D content, but it was sort of official because it was Critical Role, which is kind of popular. So I had it as this weird in-between of hard-coded and custom. So now it's been moved over completely to custom content. So all of the abilities, you're gonna have to re-import them because I had to change them. So if you just re-import the class, then you'll be completely fine. So that is the patch notes. Not a ton of items, but the main thing is the selections are what the big deal is. So I'll kind of go through an example or a good example of that. So for example, if you select the Ranger and then the Hunter subclass, we'll just do level 6 to show some options. You'll see that when you get to this page, the adjustments page, you'll see that you have all of the you'll have all of your options to select from. So basically this will bring up all your feature options that will appear in your sheet. You'll be able to make your options. So I'm gonna go on a snowy adventure in the forest. I'm going to be an archer, obviously. Stereotypes. And then as you can see here, this is a selection group. You can kind of see what the different option is by pressing the information button. So that is fun. And we'll do dexterity, intelligence, why not? And then let's get into the sheet to show you what it looks like. And we'll skip equipment, character name, sure. Boom. Yes. All right. So then when you get into the actual sheet, you'll see on the character information, you'll see that there is an option here, and I already see a bug. That's great. But you'll see that for the most part, there's some options here. And then you'll be able to remove it and replace it if you want. So that is kind of awesome. So for example, if you have the fighting style, it'll bring up the information here and you can kind of see it. So that is really nice, and it even works for subclasses. As you can see here, there's the giant killer that you selected, and you can kind of see the information, and that will apply the special effects eventually of that feature that you created. So pretty big deal. There's going to be some hiccups that we're going to have to fix as we go. As you can see, there is, there should be another one, or you got one at level 6, but it's not showing it. So things like that will have to be fixed, but for the most part, the foundation is there, and we're going to really start hitting our stride on being able to track these things inside of the sheet rather than having to go to the old features interface, which was a good thing for its time, but now it's time to move on. But thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoy the update so far. Let me know if you find weird things, for example, like this bug where it shows you should have an option, but you don't have it, and then we can kind of tackle it as we see it. All right, thanks for watching. Talk to you later.